fuck about superheroes, supervillain, and their whiny-ass preschool teacher, Mr. Fee. I don't give a fuck about free links and the piss poor excuse for bands that play there. I don't give a fuck about the Denton scene or cleaning up the vomit I inject from looking at any of their fucking faces. I don't give a fuck about Beaver and their half-brain guitar player, Paul. I don't need to get $5 rim jobs from Noogie to fund their tour van repairs. Nobody gives a shit that 20 years later Richard Haskins is still wearing his mom's fucking panties. If anyone in this sewer sludge we call a music scene is fucking offended by what I gotta say, just remember, kids, I'm giving no fucks today.
Oh no, where did we go? And boop, there we are. Haha. Welcome, everyone. There's always the little technical things with this, but welcome to the Inner Geekdom podcast. For anyone that just noticed, when we switched that over, everyone's faces wasn't there, but now they are. But yeah, we are a geek culture podcast with a bunch of, fun topics. We usually like to have a little bit of a light topic and a heavier topic. But yeah, I am Rune. I am the kind of, face here at Inner Geekdom. Not on purpose. It's just I was the most available. But I also have a few people with me here. I'm going to let them kind of give themselves a little shout outs of what they do, and then we'll just jump into our discussions for the day. Guess we'll start out with Mr. J Rod over there.
How's it going? I'm J Rod. You can find me on TikTok at JRod_live. You may find my music at such places as Spotify and iTunes, everywhere music is streamed.
I just canceled my Spotify.
Oh, well, anyway, you can find my old band Sleaze's Fist and the Latter-day Taints on there, as well as the Faps and A Letter of Warning and my own stuff under the name Jared Gideon. You can find all of that on streaming platforms. Go support my music. I'm also the organizer of Rub and Chug, the music festival in Denton, Texas every year. You can go check that out. If you're within the sound of my voice, you should drive into Denton on September 21st to go check that out.
Yeah! It's going to be cool and stuff. I can't go. I'm sorry, Jared.
You can, though.
I can't, though. I'm poor as shit.
Going now.
I'm a podcaster. I don't make any money. Podcasting. I'm broke. Speaking of broke, I'm going to pass it down to Ben.
I feel so seen. Name's Ben. I am a game master, dungeon master, a writer. You can find me usually here on Artificer Alley on Twitch. You can also check out my writing on Royal Road, where Eidos Tamers is currently doing really well, sitting at rank 5,300 out of 50,000 plus. And that's thanks to you guys. So thank you so much for that.
Yes, sir.
I agree. Check out Jared's music because that's one hell of a follow-up. I got a little book. Jared's I have music. I'm all this. I'm produced. I do this stuff.
We're talented individuals in this community, man.
We are.
I have a large catalog of fun jams just for you.
I particularly enjoy Courtney's Butt.
Yes, Courtney's Butt is a very good jam. I didn't drop that one.
It's just
Butt. Coming on streaming services near you, or is it already there?
That one's only available on YouTube.
Yeah, it's fun though. Okay. Well, the reason it's so funny is, that we're gonna dive into one of our first discussions, and we can actually discuss that a little bit. So, first thing we're gonna be speaking about today is, Ben, you're about to be journeying into a brand new part of your content creator life, with you not only getting your first PC this coming week. Well, the parts are there. The assembly is coming.
Technically second PC, but first time being a full-time content creator, yeah.
Yeah, so you're diving into a lot of video games that you're going to be streaming here soon, which is very exciting because I have been saying for a long time you need to get a PC so you can do some real gaming with us. I have brought that up to you multiple times, in fact.
You have. You have, but you also did introduce me as, speaking of broke. So I'm just saying, huge shout out to Loki, Loki Jotunheim, for hooking me up with everything to put together a gaming PC. We're actually putting it together tomorrow, and hopefully starting in August, like August 1st, we'll be going full time on Artifice Rally's channel. So we'll see how it goes.
It's very exciting.
Super exciting. Can't wait.
Yeah, so our topic is actually going to be, what games are we getting excited about? It doesn't have to be new games, just games that are new to you that you're diving into currently or about to dive into that have you super hyped up. Because it's not only like I thought of the topic partly because of you, but also because J-Rod was saying that he is excited for some sporty games. He plays
I'm gonna touch on that
games.
because I found out some information about that. By the way,
oh, you want to start it out? It sounds like you got that Hot D, which is a podcast that we do on Sundays here on the Inner Geekdom.
You love it. The Hot D. Yeah, definitely check out the Hot D show.
But this is hot drama. So
this is hot drama. This is hot drama because here's my deal. I'm sure many of you out there share the same sentiment I do when I say that I haven't bought the next generation of game system for two different reasons. One, they were very hard to get when they first came out, whether it was a PS5 or Xbox Series X. It was almost impossible to find one. If you did, you probably risk your life getting it from some shady back alley deal. On top of that, I ended up building a PC that was pretty badass. And so once I saw that the Xbox app allowed you to play a lot of the really good games from Xbox Live and all that, you could play them on your PC. Even at better frame rates, better graphics, all that stuff, right? So what's the point in buying this next-gen console if I could play the games on the PC? So I easily assume, since I've been able to play Madden and everything else on my PC and the WWE games, all of it, I've been able to play it on my PC, no problem. Now, a game just came out the other day called NCAA Football 25. Highly anticipated. They haven't had an NCAA football game since 2014. It's been a long time. I think it might even be longer than that, 14 years or more or something, right? People are still like, the value of the NCAA games were expensive, even though most sports games become a shit shingle once you've had it for 2 years. And you try to go in and trade it. They're like, we'll give you 25 cents for it. Like, $60 for this. Yeah. So like, big deal. This new sports game's come out. It's licensed, players, everything. I was so excited about it. It's not available on PC, folks. It's not available on the last gen console. That includes PS4 and Xbox One and Xbox One X and all that stuff. Not available. You have to have an Xbox Series X or S or a PS5 to play this game, and it's not available on PC. Therefore, I will not be playing it because I'm not going to go out and spend $400+ on a gaming console just for one game that I can't play. So
that's
completely have to wait till it's available.
So do you think that it will be later on PC, that they just don't have the the controls down or whatever yet?
I mean, I've seen no indication that they're going to make it available on PC from what I just read. So but the game looks great, by the way. So if you do have those consoles and you have a fear of like EA not putting out a good product, it looks like they put a lot of detail into a lot of the stadium audio as far as the different teams and what you would expect to hear at some of the bigger team games. They've changed up how the field of play works out, because college players and college type of strategies are a little different than NFL for different, for various reasons. There's a lot of things you can get away with in college that you wouldn't on an NFL field. There's just a lot of different mechanics to it, and from what I've seen at looking at reviews of it and stuff, it looks like they really put their heart and soul into this one for once, as they don't do with Madden games.
Right. Well, so I will say that, like, going from there, it seems like one of Ben's very anticipated games has a little bit of a downtrodden as well with Final Fantasy 14. You were telling me before we started out that although you were very excited about it, a lot of the community isn't quite digging on the old Dawn trail like we were thinking they might.
I kind of expected this, I'll be honest.
Okay.
Because the story's been out for 12 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Endwalker, that came out in 2021, was the wrap up to this 10 years, the first 10-year storyline. An entire decade of storytelling complete. Knowing that the next expansion setting up the next decade of storytelling is a lot of world building, a lot of foundation in place. And considering the last, literally the last 4 expansions was set you up as the main character. Here's your struggle. World ending consequences are are ended or saved based upon your actions. Then we come to Dawn Trail, which is literally being advertised as a beach vacation after you've saved the end of the world. And you're traveling with these other NPCs who are taking center stage for once.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, cool. Let's enjoy it. And on top of that, it's laying down foundation, world building, everything for the next 10 years. People are just upset that why am I not the main focus anymore?
Well,
And
here's
that.
I kind of have a problem with that though. Like,
Okay.
you're in an MMO. That's the point.
Mhm.
You're not the main character because there's a bunch of other people playing the game. Why do these people think that they're the main character? Like, you're just another
Well,
player in this MMO.
That's proof that you haven't played far enough in the game. You're
I
set
mean,
up
they
as
can
the
tell me
warrior.
I'm the chosen one. Me and like 5 million other fucking
Mhm.
people playing this game.
Well, no, the foundation is actually very solid. There's even lore built into who these other adventurers are and everything.
They're just
If
not
you
as
follow the
important as
dialogue.
me because I'm a Lalafell and I'm tiny.
Exactly. And so Lalafell race, master race, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
And so there's that, and there's also people who have been concerned with that the new NPCs for the story seem a little bit two-dimensional with no character growth. And you'll actually find this interesting, Room. There's actually been a lot of hate for one of the new NPCs. Her name's Wook Lamont, and she
Oh.
is voiced by a trans voice actress.
Oh no.
And yeah, and
Is it a
people
bad
are actually-
performance or are people just being shitty?
No, like the handful, like there's the people who love the story for what it is,
Yeah.
and there's a people who applaud the performance, and then you have your handful of people who are just straight up. They're setting it up as the easy target.
Right.
Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? As there's no critique for the performance. It's just this is this person in their personal life, so hate their professional performance. And one does not feed the other. The delivery for Wook Lamont is fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you actually go on Steam and look at some of the reviews, it's literally they are picking the social awkward, low hanging fruit that I hate to say.
Yeah.
In terms of professionalism, it is an incredible product. It is an absolute incredible product. It's a great storytelling experience. But yeah, it's
sad to see
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, because I understand that there is a lot of pandering out there, but we're talking about a voice
Yeah.
actor here. Like,
yeah.
who gives a
And-
shit? Like,
I sure as hell don't.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm sitting here thinking,
Exactly.
like I don't know why that matters to people in any form or fashion. You know, as long as they're doing a good job, I don't give a shit. You know.
Exactly. And
Well, plus,
like-
if I'm not saying it would or wouldn't annoy me, it might annoy me. I'd have to hear the voice actor, but I don't really feel
Mhm.
like it's like my opinion on it is going to matter enough that I got to put that in a review or something. It's like, hey,
Right.
I'm either enjoying this product or I'm not. Like that's just between me and the
Exactly.
product.
Exactly, and they're picking it as to go cool. If it's going to become the trend to hate on this, let's pick. Unfortunately, and it's also what it is, the social target.
Well, and my
And-
thing is as long as they weren't trying to make a big deal about it, like, ooh, look at us, you know, we have it. If this is just a voice actor
they
that
wouldn't.
happened to be trans, it's not like they're going and putting on the Dawn Trail box now featuring trans voice actors. Then I don't
That's
see what the big
exactly-
fucking deal is.
Exactly, there was no pandering.
Yeah.
There was none of that. They brought them in because they are that good of a voice actor. The performance is incredible.
Sounds
The
solid to
writing-
me, man.
See, the writing is being alluded to as lackluster because yet again you're not the main focus, and it's literally a reset. Like, and that's what's been so hard. Like, I'm seeing the veterans of this game who have played for a decade like I have,
Yeah.
going, no, this has been good. This is literally setting up for what's to come. And then the people who came in the Shadowbringers wave when Shadowlands and World of Warcraft bombed,
Mm-hmm.
like you're seeing these newer players who haven't been with the game as long going, like, what the hell is this? And
Well, it
like,
kind
if I'm
of
not, if
it kind of
Yeah, like, I
kills me
remember-
because one of my favorite of
Mhm.
the Elder Scrolls games is Oblivion, where you are very much not really the main character of that story. You are the support of the main story of the main character. At least that's how I felt playing it.
Mhm.
But it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
yeah and no at the same time.
I mean, you
are,
weren't the central
you are
focus.
you are chosen by the king to like carry the what do you got, the amulet of whatever,
Right.
amulet of kings
Yeah.
or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Amulet of Akatosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
Akatosh, yeah.
But you get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Like, I was definitely a key player in everything that goes on. But at the end of the day, the one that's going to be written about in the history books the most is going to be the king.
yeah, it's going to because it's a being
Martin, right?
Uriel.
I believe so. It's been a
Yeah, something
while.
like that. But yeah, like the new, I mean, spoilers for those who have never played Oblivion. Yeah, like the new King Uriel Septim, like sacrifices himself. That is the history point. You see that in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
when you see the
and-
history books.
Speaking of Skyrim, since we are talking about games we are getting hyped to get ready to play, I have been sucked into sales very much lately because we had the Steam summer sale and then we had the Amazon sale as well, and now I am officially very, very broke, my friends. But one of the things that I picked up along that treacherous journey through my wallet was a Skyrim VR, and I am so ready to mod the hell out of this thing and just be awful to everyone.
Yeah,
And the same type of game as Skyrim, pretty much. We got Obsidian coming out with Avowed this year, and I'm looking really forward to that because Avowed looks like a really next gen updated version of that type of game. Dungeon explorer, open world.
Love that.
It's not going to be as open world as Skyrim, for what I've been reading, but it looks really good. So it's going to be more like zones, more than just a big wide map, which means it'll probably run really well.
I like the
Very
sound of though, because I do have an itch right now for a good fantasy game, especially, you know, well, the one obviously I'm looking forward to, and I've talked about probably a million times, is Light No Fire. The game that's being made by the same people that made No Man's Sky. I usually call it No Man's Skyrim just because that's what it looks like. It is No Man's Sky with like Skyrim, and it's a ever expanding world from what I've heard. And if it is anything like what they're promising, which you have to say with bated breath because of how much they promised when No Man's Sky first came out, but they eventually met what they said that they were going to do. I got a lot of high hopes for this one. Hopefully they've learned from the mistakes. This is something I want to play with my friends so badly.
The success rate has not been so good with I guess what you call AAA titles or whatever and stuff like that, or like big projects, high ambition, long awaited to release. Seems like about 3 out of 4 of those games that come out, you get it, and like sure enough, that morning there's 1,000, if not tens of thousands, of bad reviews the next morning, and sure enough, you try to play it, and you're like, I don't know, maybe they're just crazy, right? And you try to play it, and you're like, you're right, this is trash. I don't know why people are bad at making games nowadays.
Well, and it's depressing because when we're looking at how much they're wanting to charge for games nowadays, you're looking at, for a lot of the big games, somewhere between $60 to $70, maybe $50 if you're real lucky, over $70 if you're unfortunate. You know, because when you're looking at a lot of these games, if you want the full experience, you're looking at like $120 sometimes, which is just insanity to me. So when you're looking at those types of figures, I'm looking at probably getting like maybe 3 or 4 of those like level of games a year, and then sticking to the like 30 and under crowd, maybe 40 to really spoil myself, you know, more or less majority of the time. And that's where the indie studios are kicking ass, because they're coming in and making these games that are honestly blowing a lot of the AAA titles out the water for a fraction of the price.
like that brings up a good question. I'm gonna throw it to you guys. So what you guys think? In your recollection, what was the last couple of AAA titles that actually delivered on the promises?
Ooh, that I personally played, because I'm very much an indie guy, to be honest with you. So I'm I would say Nintendo delivers a lot of the time, because the last Zelda game was fucking fantastic. You know, they do really good. They have a new Mario Party getting ready to come up that I have a lot of faith is going to be good. You know, Nintendo does really well with a lot of their titles, I will say.
Like Tears of the Kingdom, I give you that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even Scarlet and Violet gets hate currently.
I give a lot of hate to it. I think I ranted on it last week, in fact.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Yeah, so like I would say Skyrim was the last one for me. I mean, I gave that like a 10 out of 10. Whereas like Starfield, when that was like my next big anticipated game, I've been waiting for it. I maybe give it like a 6.5 out of 10, if that's being generous.
Well, because you look at something like Baldur's Gate 3, that's Larian Studios. That's not necessarily really a large studio, but I would say it's not a small one either. Like small in scale, but like popularity. They were already putting out decently popular games for Baldur's Gate 3. So, but it's not AAA though. Even with its connections, I wouldn't say that's necessarily AAA, but that's been one of the biggest games. You look at Pow World. That very small team, one of the biggest games that's come out in the last year.
Exactly. Like, I mean, into my recollection, I think the biggest AAA release that I know of that delivered was possibly Hogwarts Legacy. That caught people by surprise.
Well, even that's
I've seen games that were popular and people like them and enjoy them. I'm saying what I've played.
Yeah. I did play Hogwarts Legacy. I will give a lot of props to that one in particular. That game actually kicked ass and played
that one hit the mark from what I've heard.
And it played in a way that it didn't feel like every other game that I've played. You know, like it felt unique enough with the Harry Potter mechanics instead of just a Harry Potter skin on an already built engine. I appreciated the level of really putting in that effort with the system.
Yeah. Exactly, and but that was the question. Like, to your recollection of what you guys have experienced, what was the last AAA title that you were anticipating that actually delivered on its promise? You know, so think about that. If Skyrim was the last one that delivered for you,
that's been out over 10 years now, I believe.
It's 13 years, bud.
Yeah.
11. I mean,
that's just what comes to mind. And I'm talking about big deal. I'm not talking about it was all right, you know, that kind of deal. But
seriously. Yeah, but that's still a big deal.
That one in Fallout 4. I don't think the new Civ was very good. Like Civ 6, Civ 5 is better.
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
And I have Civ 6 on this computer, so.
Well, I think that actually brings up a really interesting thing with a lot of the types of games that you and I played, Jared, and that is we've gotten really into finding our entertainment with gaming in a large part of the RP scene. It kind of has added a different layer that a lot of the times when I play other games, I miss. So for anyone that doesn't know, we do play Grand Theft Auto roleplay and Red Dead Redemption roleplay, like Red M and 5M for anyone that is familiar with them. And it did add a new layer to gaming that I really enjoy when it's done right. We have our issues and we can talk about those.
Yeah, well, a lot of it is that with the RP games, it's sort of changing the trajectory of what your goals are in the game. So a lot of people, when you explain it, they go, "Well, how do you beat the game?" I'm like, there's no end game. It's just like, you know, you eventually kill your character off or you quit playing. Like
which I did recently.
I mean, as a professional dungeon master, it's you're playing virtual Dungeons and Dragons.
Essentially, yes.
That's what you're doing, and there's a reason that D&D is mainstream now. Being able to take ownership of a character, dive into a world with virtual consequences and rewards that these characters are dealing with, it's appealing because it's a full experience all of its own.
Well, and
it adds a new layer to the sandbox.
That is one of the like big appeals that we have there, but it's to the point that I'm diving into other games that other people aren't in RP mode and still going in RPing. Like when I was playing Fallout 76, I was fully in character the whole time. When I was playing what was that one? That zombie one that just came out. Not zombies, but Once Human. When I was playing the demo of that one, I was fully in character. I love being in character, especially in games like that where it's got the proximity chat. If it has proximity chat, I'm probably playing a character in it. That's just how I am.
Dude, J Rod, he even did it in Final Fantasy 14, but there's no voice proximity chat.
I was
so he was
good
happy
anyway.
to test it out.
My name was Bobby Bogowski on that one. That was fantastic.
Hey, thank you very much, Shorty, for the resubscribe. Love your face.
What's up, dude? Missing you, Shorty. Enjoy your vacation, man.
Yeah, man, can't wait to have you back here soon. But yeah, I was playing Bubby Bogowski. I was having a lot of. It just gets me into the game more when I'm a role player. It's kind of what I label myself as. It's why I'm very excited to be getting into VR chat and other things like that. You know, I feel like VR is built for someone like me that really likes to get into character.
Absolutely, like because even when I talk about my favorite MMO, like I'm a solo player. Like I'm not joining I'm not joining any of the guilds. I'm not joining free companies.
If I'm playing, we're
like,
in a guild. We're the Soggy Bottom Boys.
I am paying for a name change and a server hop, so you can't find me,
sir.
So,
I will find you. I will watch your stream.
okay. So
just out of nowhere,
stream snipe you.
So yeah, like it was like I was always a solo player, and I played this game for a decade. And like literally, I think the last free company I even joined was 2017.
Wow. So so are you ready to get social though, Ben? I have a Rocktopus, by the way. Are you ready to?
Nice.
Are you ready to get social?
So, of course, dude.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
Well,
otherwise,
like a rock, as in the wrestler.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He is a Rocktopus.
Ben, what do you think about that? It doesn't matter what you think.
It doesn't matter.
It hurts like right here. I felt something pop. Like I might need medical attention.
Mrs. Rude brought this home to me. Somebody like 3D printed this off to her, and she's like, "This seems like something you'll have fun with." And I do. I play with this all the time on my desk. I will not lie.
you need to request a rock lobster.
I do need a rock lobster, man.
Lobster.
Oh man. So are there any other games that you guys would like to discuss before we move on to the next topic? I do know that we had some show recommendations or that we were going to go into as well if you wanted to do that. But I wanted to leave it up for a few more seconds. Anybody want to put another game out there that they're kind of rocking out to right now or getting ready to?
I got one that Shorty said, "What the fuck?" The first Descendant, Loki plugged that into me this past week. Basically, it's like free Destiny, even though Destiny is free.
Yeah.
It's currently sitting in the top 5 games on Steam, and it's free to play. So that's gonna be probably one of the first ones I check out when I begin playing with friends off stream, just to see how it is, and if it's good enough, it may be one of the ones I stream. I don't know.
Totally, man.
So,
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to be with you, Schumann. I got it for. She got it for Christmas. Apparently, Mrs. Rune is in the chat and said she got this for Christmas. So yeah, Merry Christmas and shut your mouth.
Rudy Poo candy ass.
Do you like pie? Okay. We're gonna move on to the weekend what to watch segment now. So, for anyone that doesn't know, the weekend what to watch is where we tell you what we are going to be watching this weekend, or what you should be watching even. Because my suggestion, because I'm just going to start it out, I've already watched it. Because for anyone that didn't know, Cobra Kai came out today!
I almost didn't hear you. If you couldn't hear him at home,
Cobra Kai
came out today.
It did, and I've already watched it. I already watched the whole thing, but it was only the first 5 episodes, and this is the first thing I'm going to say about it because I do love Cobra Kai. This is season 6, part 1 of 3, and the second part doesn't come out till November, so we're not going to get the conclusion until sometime next year. I understand spacing them out. I understand that they're wanting to try and build up momentum for the ending of this thing. Release it weekly. Do not keep doing this. I hate this kind of spacing them months apart for the same season shit that Netflix is currently doing, because by the time it comes around, I might be doing something else and not care anymore. Like, I'm going to start out with just bringing that topic up for anyone that wants to ring in on that real fast before I give my thoughts real quick on this season so far of Cobra Kai.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so the show I've been excited about is about these teenagers that are they're trained in martial arts, right? And they are chosen by an ancient power that they find, right?
Uh-huh.
And with this ancient power, they're able to control these like robots, and they combine them and like put their hands out like this and combine the
Oh
powers.
man, I don't have my morpher here. I
And so-
have a replica morpher in one of my totes.
And so-
I didn't get it.
And so,
How do they
and
put
so
their hands out?
they can take all their robots and they go like badass metal music plays, and it's like,
Yeah.
and then everything connects and goes, and then it makes one big robot.
Are we
And
talking?
they
speaking
use it.
specifically of the Ivan Ooze movie from back in the day.
What are you talking about? No. This is like a TV show. It's
Are you
like a
talking about
thing
Voltron?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you might be talking about Voltron.
Yeah, and they've always like protecting these guys that are kind of bullies that live in the town they live in. There's, like, a couple of rough guys,
Oh,
you know.
you must be talking about like Big Bad Beetleborgs.
No. It's
no,
not
okay,
called
okay.
that. I've never heard of that one. No,
Yeah.
it's like
Like,
I think it's called like Power Ranchers.
I thought you were going to say
It might
VR
be
Troopers.
Cowboys.
I've got a
Like,
lot of these,
okay.
by the way, Jared. We could go for a while.
wait. Like there's like 30 iterations. I cannot tell which one you're talking about because it all sounds the same.
Nah,
to
he
me.
was talking about the buckler, so it was definitely Mighty Morphin.
I couldn't tell because I asked him how the hand
No,
thing went and I couldn't see.
I don't know what Mighty Morphin is. I think it's called the Power Ranchers.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I haven't
No,
heard of
you're
the
thinking-
Monster Rancher.
you're thinking of Monster Rancher. I think that's what it is.
It might
Oh,
be. Yeah.
okay.
But anyway, they run around in their tights. They have like these tights they wear.
It's better than calling it spandex, actually.
No, that's Robin Hood.
Oh,
they kind of
Mary
dress like-
Ann.
They kind of dress like Japanese pro wrestlers, and
I'm
and
here
they
for
go
it.
They protect their city from these monsters.
Well, I'm here to tell you, J-Rod, I'm sorry to say, but Power Rangers got canceled recently, and I feel like you're just rubbing salt in the wound.
I am.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh no, that reminds me. Did you actually get the update that I sent you, Room?
What update? I don't know if we got what. You have to
sent
fill
you
me
the-
in.
There was an update I sent you this week that actually said there's a possible spoiler of a potential Power Rangers moving forward.
Yeah, but
it
they
is
were
a-
just
a-
shopping it around, though.
Well, the shop around is literally another remake of Mighty Morphin, and they're just going to do the 10 most popular episodes of the Mighty Morphin just remade.
Thanks, I hate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, here's the
Nope.
thing, and this is what I'm gonna put out there because Jared brought it up. I get to rant about this shit now, so everybody buckle up. I'm about to get lit. Here's the thing: we're adults. If you're still into Power Rangers, get off your ass and just watch the Sentai. Read some subtitles. It's better. And if you like that, also check out Kamen Rider. But if you can't read subtitles, check out Ultraman because they've actually been making English dubs that you can just go and watch on YouTube for free. So yeah,
Kamen Rider's great. They were on Lookout Records. They had the other guy from Operation Ivy and Kamen Rider. And,
I like
yeah.
Knight Rider personally.
Well, Kamen Rider, like the English adaptation of Kamen Rider, is called Dragon Knight.
Oh, you're talking about yeah, that's one iteration, but there was another iteration for Masked Rider before, but then you had Masked Rider Dragon Knight. Masked Rider, the original one, had Furbus in it, which was like a horrible little elf creature that they figured would make kids happy. It got canceled almost immediately. It was bad.
It was a crossover, and I watched it as a kid. I love Furbus, don't even. But
Nobody
there
loves
was
Furbus. You're a liar, Ben.
Furbus. It's because I like bad television. I can't
Okay,
help
that's
it.
fair. That's fair.
But yeah, like I remember the crossover with Power Rangers. But no, they're talking about actually trying to shop around a reboot, and it's once again Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Energy,
I hate
just
that.
made modern day.
Okay,
So-
well,
Love is like bad television.
I feel like the fans are doing better stuff at this point, but let's move on to what
Yeah.
Ben. What do you got for us? Because you
course
said
the
you got
fans
an
are.
M&A.
No, one more thing. Of course, the fans are, because the writers they hire for a lot of this stuff aren't fans. They're just people who have a writing credit somewhere. You know, like they're just people
Yeah.
that went to school and they wrote for this other stuff, and they're like, "Well, hire this writer. They've done really well." And like, really, they just need to be looking at the fan writing and be
Yeah.
like, "I need to hire that guy."
I've worked on
just
some
saying
of the
the-
fan projects. I was doing some of the Megazord animations for a while there for them.
Yeah,
I'm just
hire
saying,
this guy.
Yes.
Let him do his
Yeah.
thing.
I've got
Your
stuff like
project
that in the works.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
no, if anybody who's a big enough fan, and you go look at their writing, it's probably better than whatever you've cooked up and probably overpaid for.
It's because we know the lore,
I mean-
and then we actually connect the lore
The
like it's
lore.
supposed to be connected, whereas most of the time they just start with something new and maybe sprinkle a little bit of lore, and if they do, like half the time it breaks what the lore was before instead of improving on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, that being said, Boom Studios did well.
with the
But
comic books,
they
because
did-
they were Power Ranger fans.
And here's the thing, they did well once and then had to reiterate the good thing they did multiple times. So, that being said, Boom Studios did just recently sell to Penguin Random House. If
Yeah.
you didn't know that. Came out this week. But so as someone who just said they love bad television,
Uh-huh.
my recommendation, my wife and I finished watching it this past weekend. Kaiju number 8.
That's not. I've recommended this one before. That's not a bad recommendation at all. Kaiju are fucking awesome.
Kaiju number 8 is fantastic.
I read the manga.
It is literally what you would expect. It's just like you don't understand where the kaiju came from.
For anyone that doesn't know what a kaiju is, it's like Godzilla and shit like that.
Yeah, monsters. I mean, if you see, here's the thing: if you've seen Pacific Rim, you know what's happening.
Yeah, it's not a Hebrew guy named Kai.
No,
I mean-
that would be a different show, but I would watch it as well.
That would be incredible if that was just how the show worked.
Just like a really big like Hebrew guy having to fight kaiju. I'm here for it.
Yeah, like a Hasidic Jew giant guy.
Is it so? It's Kamen Rider Kaiju.
I'm
He
here
just
for
comes after you with
Godzilla.
scissors.
It might be better than Kamen Rider Gav, who just had their first 3 episodes leaked this week.
Oh no, did
you-
they really? Oh man. I kind of like the design though, because I had a very similar character in a Power Ranger game that we had recently, purple bunny type of suit. I was like,
That's
yes,
funny. That's great. Yeah, Kaiju number 8, like the world building it's very reactive. It fits the genres that are coming out popular, where it's just like, this is just how it is. Don't ask questions. Enjoy it.
Yeah,
And just
well,
enjoy the
normal
trip ride.
world gets hit by kaijus, and then they form a military to fight kaijus, but use their body parts to make big weapons. It's Monster Hunter with kaijus. It's very simple and very fun. Like lots of big action and big explosions, you know.
Absolutely. It will not win a Pulitzer, but it was a treat from beginning to end. And if it scratched that anime power trip itch. It's really good.
What do you think
It's
about
very
that one,
good.
Jared? I know you're not big on anime, but does that one tickle your fancy at all?
You lost me at anime.
Oh, I see. All right. All right. Well, let's see if I can get you any of you guys on Cobra Kai. All right. So, have either of you guys watched Cobra Kai before? No.
I'd like to, but I haven't got started on it.
Okay. No. Okay. So, for anyone that doesn't know, which it shouldn't be anybody. I mean, even if you haven't watched it, you know what it is. It's a sequel to the Karate Kid series, minus the third one. They haven't really referenced that. I wonder if they will at some point. Well, we're going into the last season, so I'm not going to give any spoilers per se, but I'm just going to kind of give you guys like kind of the framework of where we're at with the series to see if this would pull you in to possibly start it up, because it is a fantastic series. But we are looking at the conclusion of the series. It's going to end in, who would have thought, a world tournament? But, you know, if you enjoyed tournaments and fighting and really good choreography, because this show does have some amazing fight choreography. If you like basically Saved by the Bell, but you solve all of your problems with beating each other up with karate moves, this is your show.
So is it like Bloodsport then? Because Bloodsport.
They reference Bloodsport so much in this show, funny enough.
Oh yeah.
Because the show starts out
Okay,
more,
USA.
well, because the show starts out about Johnny Lawrence. It's about him, the bully from the first movie, starting back up Cobra Kai, and he's just kind of a washed out loser that never got anywhere after getting his ass kicked by LaRusso. And so now he's basically, it's funny because he's very stuck in the 80s. He listens to 80s music, doesn't know how to use a cell phone, doesn't have a Facebook, that kind of a trope. But there's a lot of heart in the series as well. So if you end up, you know, liking that type of thing, there's always enough of it, but it never gets so far from the comedy that it feels like they're forgetting that it does have that element to it. So, I mean, I really enjoy it. I definitely feel like going into this last season, beyond the way that they're dicing it up, I like that. I like how they're going with the end of the show. I hope that they're gonna do like maybe a spinoff afterwards. Like maybe we're gonna get Cobra Kai Next Generation. Like it pretty much is Degrassi with karate, in all honesty. So what is your guys' thoughts on it? Does that sell you on it at all?
A little bit. It moved the needle a little bit for me.
A little bit.
But I was already thinking I might watch it.
Yeah.
Where can people catch Cobra Kai?
Oh, you can catch it on Netflix. Yeah, and I will say, if you do like a lot of that's the thing. If you like a lot of the old like karate movies, Johnny Lawrence is a big fan of them, so he brings up the references a lot. He keeps putting kids through challenges that happen in those movies in a lot of his training, which is very funny in a lot of situations. And it is like a reference smorgasbord for anybody that watched the old Karate Kid movies, and I highly recommend going and rewatching them before you jump into the series, because you're going to be catching so many more things that's going to be like, good lord, there's so much shoved into here reference wise, but it's done in a tasteful way that doesn't feel overly gimmicky, I will say.
Like I remember like Cobra Kai was one of those shows that I kept up with from the writing perspective.
Yeah.
I remember seeing an interview with Ralph Macchio, who was talking about the directors and the writers for Cobra Kai. Like they knew more lore about the stories and movies than Ralph Macchio did.
Oh yeah, it's impressive.
So it all comes full circle back to the idea that fans of an IP will treat this IP with respect, and the result speaks for itself in Cobra Kai. It is
definitely agree.
Like I have not seen a single season, but all the reviews, everything from the storytelling and professional side of all of it is a love letter to Karate Kid.
Well, an interesting thing about how it got started, though, was a lot of people don't remember. This started out as a YouTube show when YouTube was trying to start its own streaming service. Like, you had to pay an extra thing on YouTube to watch this originally. Obviously, that failed very horribly, and almost nothing from that got picked up. This got picked up and brought over to Netflix and continued. And Netflix doesn't give you 6 full seasons of something. They usually cancel something like 3 in majority of the time, if you're lucky enough to get that. So that tells you this is a show that's got a lot of people enjoying it. Like, it is a draw on Netflix for them to have this.
I believe it was one of the only shows that got a continuation on YouTube, which don't hold me to that. I have no proof of it.
I believe it was the first 2 seasons. It got 2 seasons and then it came over. Yes.
Exactly. So that means Netflix has contributed to 4 full seasons of it.
Yeah.
And
that's more than they're willing to put into most shows.
Yeah. And going back to the idea of this being a love letter from fans to fans, that's also how you know that the decision to split it up into 3 parts is definitely a Netflix executive decision.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know they don't want that for their product, but I know their hands are tied for it.
They're experimenting with some of their bigger shows of different formats to test retention rate right now, and I just think that this is a huge blunder on their part. But we've discussed that.
They got people like me who will have like 5 or 6 streaming services that they like.
Yeah.
But I don't want to pay for 5 or 6 streaming services, so I'm going to have 1 or 2 of them for a little while, and then when I burn through a lot of what I want to watch, I cancel that, move over to Netflix, cancel that, move over to HBO, cancel that.
So they're forcing you to keep it, essentially.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we ain't gonna let you pull that crap with us. We need some loyalty out of you. We need that monthly check.
Listen, man, my aesthetic is pirate. Fuck with me, Netflix.
But that's the thing, though. Like, Netflix's model has never been like, they're wanting that retention, but even breaking this up in 3 parts, you're not keeping my emotional and monetized buy-in by making me wait till November. Why am I going to pay you when I've done seeing what I wanted to see? I'll cut it off and start it back in November.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I do want to kind of cut off from here because we have dove into this topic for quite a while, and we do have one more topic to go. So going into that final topic, all right, you have a Christian, a former youth pastor, and an atheist walk into a bar, and we're going to find out what all 3 of those people think about religion in current fictional media. And That is literally why I wanted to do this. It's such an interesting perspective to have such different minds on this. And not just Christianity, but I know that that's going to be the big focus, more than likely, of how it's being represented in media right now. And, so we can identify ourselves. I'm the dirty, evil atheist. Jared's the holier, thou Christian guy, which is funny. I'm making fun of the fact that you're like the most metaled out person on this thing.
Yeah.
And then the former youth pastor with Ben. You definitely got that youth pastor energy, my guy.
Oh, thanks.
It's just the way that you talk to people's very calming, and that's what they want for like teenagers and shit, so they'll quit trying to fondle each other.
Well, okay, you
don't know
call it a
if
former youth pastor. Like I was a teenager at Bible college working with a youth group. That was it, and that was years ago.
Get ready, person putting
Years
spam
ago.
into my chat. Boom! You just got banned. Get wrecked, loser.
I got joy deep in my heart. Hey, deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. And if Rune doesn't like it, he can sit on a sit on a
All right, so
In my heart, down in my heart. Unless you was trying to keep from getting demonetized. I got
right. I will say though,
I haven't sang that song since I was on a church bus, man. So if I messed up the lyrics, that's why.
but I will.
Hey, what you doing? Is
I
your
will
business,
say
bro.
though, I do find this to be an interesting topic though, just because I will even admit, as a full-on atheist, that the Christians do get picked on a lot when it comes to a lot of different representation. When it comes to even like I'm not talking about like things that are based after just normal life. We can talk about things like we talked about The Boys or Good Omens, things like that. It's a lot of the times the butt of the joke, I will say.
It depends on what we're watching, because
It
sometimes you have stuff where it's like they're just dunking and they're completely off the rails with what they're saying, and like completely unfair. Like they're just straw manning Christianity for the most part.
Right.
And then you have some stuff where, like, even if it's not something that's intended to glorify God or anything, sometimes people just do it well, and they write the character right. And I appreciate that when they're like, I have a priest, or I have a rabbi, or I have a whoever in a movie, and it's like they're just playing the role. It's no agenda behind it. They're like, what would this character do? And they have that, and they do it right. I appreciate that. When they're just like, oh, I'm a Christian. I don't think your wife should have a choice on what she decides to do today. You're like, oh yeah, I totally believe that's how most Christians act.
I will say that there is definitely a layer there that is up for comedic interpretation. And a good example, I think, of that is the Righteous Gemstones. And the reason I say that is it's not making fun of people for being Christians. It's making fun of the people that are exploiting that Christianity for gain, for wealth. They're not really what I would consider really good intention Christians. They are more or less advertisers than anything else.
And I get that. Like well, Jared, you would agree with this. Like where does the term Christian come from? They were meant to be virgins. They were called little Christ. They were Christian, like Christ. That's where the whole term came from. And you see it in the book of Acts. You don't see that type of association in Americanized Christianity. But because of that, that's what brings up a lot of these different type of narratives you see, like, for example, from the Righteous Gemstones to the Passion of the Christ, and two characters that you talked about that they give weight and credibility to the role because they're not pandering to Christians, but they make the role believable because you want to have faith in the good of that. And so this is a hard topic. It's hard without trying to step on someone's toes. But I applaud any performance that delivers, that makes me believe they believe it. You know what I'm saying? That makes me believe they are serving first.
Yeah, rather than like a caricature of like the most judgmental.
Yeah, like Buddy Jesus. It was all like, hey, you don't remember?
What? I actually appreciate that movie better than a lot of stuff. like
Yeah.
and yeah,
because it at least doesn't put people down for having faith in something.
and that
Not at any
yes,
point does it say that the people who believe in God or any of that are
Mhm.
dumber than the people who don't.
and
It doesn't draw a line in that movie.
yes, exactly.
Mm.
And I think that's the line you have to cross. You have to be aware of as a writer and storyteller is that faith isn't the problem.
What I don't
It's
like is with anything. I don't like it if they
Mhm.
do it to Christians. I don't like it if they do it to Muslims. I don't like it if they do
Exactly,
it to
yeah.
leftists or right
Mhm.
wingers or comic book nerds. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter who they do it to. When I feel like the writing is so low effort that all they did was place like the epitome of the worst example of that culture
Yeah.
as the character, and they're just like, oh look, we'll just paint this person as this really horrible thing, like the straw
Yeah.
man of like the judgmental Christian who
Right.
like disowns his gay son or something, and they're like, he's just a mean guy
Yeah.
because he likes that
Yeah.
stupid Bible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that's not. I mean, there's guys that do that, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
that's not what they're. If you go to church, that's not what they're telling
Yeah.
you to do.
Like there's a friend of mine made a post this week talking about how I promise you it's on topic. How he wished newspaper writers would learn the difference between because and after.
Mm.
So for example, like don't make the traditional Christian disown their gay son, you know, like after they came out gay
Mm.
because they came out gay. Like it's interesting to make a one-to-one parallel comparison. It's easy to make one definition. It goes, yeah, this is the one reason for this. You know what I'm saying? But that's a cop out.
Well, I
That's a
will
cop-out.
say that I want to also look at the other side of this coin, though, and that
Yeah.
is since we do seem to be having a focus just because of you guys specifically with your connections with Christianity. Me personally, I did grow up Episcopalian, but never seriously. To be honest, I was always a very doubtful person. I was the kid that never believed in Santa Claus. To be completely real with you guys, there's just something going on in this noggin that doesn't connect with that type of stuff, and not saying that they're the same. It's just there's a lot of faith that goes with that, and my mind doesn't work with faith really. I haven't, just for whatever reason. And I did grow up in that environment though, and there is Christian media though, and it's very interesting to see the way that it is used, if it's used in a positive way or if it's being used as a tool for other agendas. If you're looking at something similar to like VeggieTales, which has a whole weird thing behind it, but at surface level at least, because I'm not going to go into too deep of a deal about the management of how VeggieTales was handled. It was a good show that was never trying to push anything. I could easily show that to kids that weren't even Christian, and that they would be perfectly happy just because good messages coming out of it, fun, cute little songs and stuff. I am a huge fan of things like VeggieTales. But then you look at something that's like Pure Flix, which is, for anyone that doesn't know, the same people that made the God's Not Dead series. This is their version of Netflix, and it's just outright offensive a lot of the times when you go and watch some of the stuff on there. Like, they're just ugly with the type of agendas, like the negative agendas they're pushing, but getting away with it just because they're advertising themselves as good, wholesome Christian media, but still putting very hateful things in it. And I really can't approve of
I'd
that.
have to see those. I'd have to see specifically what you're.
I'm happy to show you some of them. It's a very deep, bad.
Yeah.
Well, so it's bad because of some of the messaging they have. It's also really bad because of the quality. And this is as somebody that went to film school. I also really love really, really bad editing and bad movies and stuff like that. All of their stuff is very B-level. You can tell all of the money went into God's Not Dead because they actually had funding for it. This is all of the stuff they do out of like a big church. Like, there are so many scenes that are green screened in their television shows that have no reason. Like, it's an office. You have to have an office in your church somewhere. Why are you like green screening in an office for this scene? Like, I'm sorry, but stuff like that will drive me fucking nuts. But yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that's kind of, they make jokes about mentally handicapped people in one of the movies is a good example. Like, I'm not even making this up. They thought that it was funny to make a character like offensively kind of mentally handicapped as a joke. The actor's not mentally handicapped in real life. I know that for a fact because that actor was also on Glee. And it's just really kind of like where they're trying to do stuff that might have been funny in like the late 80s or early 90s to maybe play it, something like that really doesn't look as good now.
I'd have to see what you mean and like compare and contrast with I guess what you would.
I would happily, like I said, I'll happily
with
show it to
secular
you.
media, as we should call it.
I'll happily show it to you, like not on here unless we want to do a whole thing of it, which by the way I am very down for. Oh yeah, she knows. Yeah, I was about to say, Mrs. Rune knows what I'm talking about because we have deep dived some of this stuff together. We are both.
Yeah, no, I would just have to see. I can't have an opinion if I haven't seen it yet. That's all I'm saying.
I would say that this was on par with Scary Movie, like the special cop kind of level of insulting.
Okay, and that's what I'm getting at is that like this isn't something exclusive to what their channel is doing.
No. This is just
is
something
that
that's
something
kind
they
of,
do all the time. Is it like every?
Well, on when they're doing they've had a few things that are messed up. They've said some kind of racist stuff about certain people that work as, you know, like lesser jobs in America, kind of jokes and stuff like that. There's some kind of gross stuff in there. I'm trying to dance around it because I don't know what I'll get in trouble for saying, to be completely honest. Obviously, I'm happy to show you afterwards, but it's a whole deep dive of grossness.
Okay, I'd have to see it. I don't see the thing you have to remember too is I don't usually watch stuff like that because the quality of it is usually pretty bad.
Oh, so bad.
Like it has to be really good. Like I've been wanting to watch what is that one they've been doing, The Chosen or something like that? Is that what it's called? Yeah, that looks really good. I want to watch that. That looks like a real quality show. And from what I've heard, it's like pretty biblically accurate. And so I want to watch that. I don't necessarily want to see somebody's propagandistic spin on what they think is holy or not, because I think it's up to God to judge, not for me.
Exactly.
It's up to me to control myself. And, you know, if someone asks my opinion or wants to know what guidance I can give them, I can do my best to explain it to them. But I'm not going to go around and just judge people. I don't think that's my job.
Totally.
You know,
I just wanted to at least show that as kind of the opposite side of the coin, because I do feel like it's the opposite side of the coin that we talked about earlier of being themselves a bad representation of their own community as opposed to people parodying their community. Because
my principle stands with that. My principle stands. I don't want to see some straw man representation of a group of people. Like I don't want to see it. Now, it's not good writing. It doesn't entertain me. It's not going to give. It's not There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
Like if you want to talk about a movie that I think is really good, and some people could paint Christians in a negative light based on the movie There Will Be Blood because of what's his face's character. I can't remember his character. In the
I know
movie,
who you're talking about.
Anyway, yeah, the one the young boy that becomes a preacher. Right?
Oh yeah. Another horrible one is The Mist. The crazy Christian lady they had in that one. Oh man.
But that character that he played, man, he did such a good job of being like that snake oil style.
Yeah.
You know,
have you seen Red State? Actually, now that I think about it,
I have seen Red State.
What did you think about? Because I know that was kind of like a play at kind of like Westboro, kind of like one of the worst examples of it.
It's a little.
It was so, but I will say the guy they had playing the head of the church, like the pastor in that, was so good. Like just the way his delivery, I loved it. Like I don't know, he had a very powerful delivery.
There is a scene in The Kingsman, the first one, where where one of the guys, the dude goes to a church that is like full of hate propaganda, guns on place, everything. And I think it just boils down to, regardless of the faith, regardless of the religion, like we have to accept the idea that there is the worst of the worst and there is the best of the best.
Very much so.
Like, you give me somebody who is just willing to, using the example of just washing feet, who of just that servant mindset, who makes their community better simply by their presence, that will make me believe that they are a believer more than any pandering any writing can do. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember there was a saying one of my old senior pastors said, this was years ago, that the best sermon preached is one lived. And if this is your faith, regardless of the religion, like let me see it in their action. Don't let me see them just standing on a street corner holding a sign. You know, let me see how they respond to criticism. Let me see how they respond to hate. Let me see the love that they're professing. And that just gives so many layers of character, so many layers to a story, and it gives motivation for plot to continue driving forward. And I mean, that's my whole point is if you're going to bring a character in where faith is a key factor for their foundation of who they are, let's see it in action and not just in words. In you know what I'm saying? Like in a just in a like tunnel, just where it's all they hear. You know what I'm talking about. I'm tired.
Okay.
Just like just like let's see it in action.
Yeah.
And because if you get a group that's spouting hate, their actions are going to be hate filled. And you see it. You see it, for example, Westboro.
Yep.
For example,
A good
I
point
mean,
about Westboro, though. If
Yeah.
Westboro Baptist Church was
Mhm.
appealing to masses of people,
Aye.
their
Yeah.
message was appealing, then you would
Mhm.
see their congregation grow and grow and grow. And it
It's
does
very
not.
small.
They got the
It
same
doesn't.
building.
Exactly.
They've got the same group of people that are going there. That
Exactly.
probably
They
like
have been for
family.
years.
Yep.
It's probably like
Absolutely.
15 to 35 families that all go to
Exactly.
that same building. Whereas,
Exactly.
I'm not saying that Joel Osteen is a great example of a Christian by any means, but
Ken Buck.
his message is appealing, and he doesn't go out and like bash on people and like stand on the corner and say that,
Mhm.
this group of people needs to do this or do that.
Right.
But you look at someone that has basically a pretty positive message that's
Mhm.
appealing to the masses. His church is growing. People like Westboro Baptist Church, who have a
Mhm.
negative message and they're
Yeah.
judgmental and they're hateful, their church isn't
Mhm.
growing, and they've been around a
Exactly.
long time.
Exactly. And they may have this message and they may be spouting it, but you see that actions are what's leading to any growth.
Well,
Let me see that in the writing and in our media that we're consuming. You
Well,
know, and
their message is being amplified by people that have confirmation bias with that. So they want to say
yeah,
everyone's like these people over here. They'll find the worst example, and that's what they'll do with
they
the
do.
writing and
And
movies a
yes,
lot. And they do it. They do it with a lot of groups.
they
I've
do.
seen a lot of that type of writing
Right.
and a certain
Mhm.
show I'm watching right now. I've
Yeah,
seen it.
like
I've seen it towards nerdy people who are socially
mhm.
awkward. I've seen it
Yep.
towards Muslims. I've seen it towards
Yeah.
police. I've seen it towards a lot of people.
Yeah, and that's because it's easy to pull out what people have done wrong.
yeah.
It's because we living in a society that is outrage reactive,
Well, when it
you
comes
know.
to something like Westboro, though, they have such a spark simply because of the same reason that, a lot of these, like, other types of entities like this end up with popularity. They're smart with their media. They're smart with their
Mhm.
legal practices that they're doing because they have multiple lawyers in their family that they're being very particular about the way that they're handling things, because if anyone does anything to them, they get ways to go and collect money off of you. That's really their game. The same
Mhm.
exact game that another company has, that would be PETA. The same thing. They don't help animals. They just whine about them to the point that they make money off of it. So
There's a lot of these groups out there that do this, and when I try to
Yeah.
point it out, that if someone is a certain ideological persuasion,
Yeah.
they will receive that message very clear. But then you make a same example towards
Mhm.
something that might align with what they believe in, and they'll get offended. And you're like, no, they're
Yeah.
doing the same thing.
yeah.
They are
Mhm.
playing on your emotions to get you to send them money.
Yep.
Like
Just
And they do,
Yeah, like-
because I know
They do.
PETA very in particular, because I have been a vegan for like 7 years. Majority of the people at PETA are volunteers. They have a very, 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 very small staff because they have a bunch of people brainwashed that they're helping out animals when really they're slaughtering most of the ones that are donated to them. And in all honesty, that most of their money that they're bringing in are from lawsuits and basically, products that people are buying off of them, and celebrities that'll endorse them just because, oh, I also like animals, so I'll endorse them. Like, sorry, but a lot of you, like people like Peter Dinklage, you need to look further into your company. Just being real.
like there's a
look locally.
there was a friend of
Facts.
mine that we sat down had this conversation a couple of years ago, and we talked about if you claim an identity, a claim of faith, claim any association, you are also claiming the positive and the negative of it. And he's like, that's not fair. I'm like, I know it's not. It's not fair, but it exists.
Well, if
And
you're
even
wearing it as a badge also in public, you are a
Mhm.
representation of that. And that kind of is a thing that a lot of people don't take good note of. Like I said,
Yeah.
I've been a vegan for 7.5 years. You're never going to get me yelling at you to do something because it's really none of my
Mhm.
business. You know, like there's a certain
Yeah.
approach to go about things. And I'm open about me being
Yeah.
like that. I'm open about me being an atheist. I try not to go and trash on people's religion and stuff unless they're
And that's-
really
yeah.
giving me a reason, and I'm more trashing on the way that they're representing it as opposed to the religion
Yeah.
that they practice.
And that's what it boils down to is there's a right way and a wrong way to do representation, regardless of ideology, identity. And a lot of times we see things fall short, and it falls short because of a dualistic outcome of we're going to make this look bad on purpose
Mm.
and make this to emphasize how much better this other dualistic ideology is in comparison. And it's a very dualistic view that people get caught up in. And in all honesty, it tarnishes good storytelling.
Well, and that's
If you're
something
gonna
I'm
do
actually
tenants.
interested in. You're a writer and also a
Mhm.
dungeon master. I am
I am.
also a game master / dungeon master. I almost
Mhm.
never have religion in any of my stories. I know that you're not particularly religious now, but since you have such a strong religious background, do you incorporate a lot of religion into your own stories, whether they be
Oh.
ones from our own world or ones that you have made up?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It'd be like
Yeah,
having like, let's say you have like
absolutely.
a dungeon master who had like a satanic style, maybe druid
Mhm.
or something kind of
Yeah.
whatever character that a lot of people
Yeah.
would consider evil. It would be
Mhm.
bad writing to assume they would not make a morally right choice.
And that's the thing. Like
Right?
it's
It's just
yeah.
because like you see their entire ideology as morally
Yeah.
wrong doesn't mean that they won't make a good moral choice at some point
Right.
in a story.
And but that's the point. Faith is such a focal point
Mm.
for world building, for motivation. You can't sacrifice it. You
I
cannot
do.
set it to the side. No, I honestly
Although
don't.
I will say when we were
Really?
doing Fallout that there is the children of Adam, but that's because that's already built
Yeah.
into the lore.
It is. But if you want to give your world more breath,
Yeah.
faith is a continual aspect because regardless of where they're at in development
Yeah.
and where they're at in their world knowledge, they accept ideas on faith.
Mm.
Period.
Look at
It's just-
the
yeah.
look at 4, 5, 6 Star Wars. You know what I mean? How well that did for them, because the Force is not only a power in the universe; it's a faith of
Yeah.
the Jedi.
Yeah,
And
it's
so,
a
like,
recognized religion in America.
We're not gonna talk about the rest of the movies, but
Yeah.
we're gonna say how well they pulled it off in
No.
4, 5, 6.
Oh man, I'm telling you, my midichlorian count is so low right now. I need to get a prescription.
No, that is a fantastic point both of you are making. Because look at the world building in 1, 2, and 3, where it was a simple count and broke down to a science.
Yeah.
Then the Jedi get wiped out. Then you have 1 or 2 Jedi left in 4, 5, 6. And it is then presented as a faith because the science practice had been wiped out. That's world building.
And then with the ones after that, it
In its
was
entirety.
treated like it is where they didn't know what they were talking about. They just started making it up, which is like the Book of Mormon, if anyone has ever saw that play.
So,
You
but
mean the
that's
New Testament?
Oh, the Newer Testament.
The Newer Testament.
like it leads credence to this idea that magic is just science that's not figured out yet.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And so, and there's sometimes you can even go so far if you are this type of writer of being able to do the same thing with faith. But then imagine that you have a realm or a story where the gods are so real you can watch them go across the night sky. They're literally holding places of government.
Yeah.
They are immortal. They're all present. You know, they're omniscience. They're all knowing, and that brings up the question: then what is knowable?
Well, that's
know,
such a
it's-
different angle, though, when the gods are tangible. That's the thing. When the god is tangible, it's a completely different dynamic.
But it only changes the dynamic that you can see them with your eyes. It does not change the dynamic that you have to make the decision to have faith in what they are and what they do.
I feel like it's such a huge difference, though, having something visibly in front of you like that. At least that would be such a game changer with the way that I viewed something like that, just from my perspective.
Right, but that's the thing, though. Like an accepted definition of faith is that it's the substance of things hoped for. It's the evidence of what is unseen. So say you have a deity that sits in front of you that is running whatever.
I would be awful. I would be horrible in this situation. I'd be the one that's like at one of Jesus's things being like, do a trick.
So, but you broke J-Rod. But it brings up the idea of like, are they worthy of faith, adoration, and respect? Like,
did he just heckle Jesus?
Are you kidding me? Like, that's the name of the show, J-Rod. But
I didn't clip that one.
Though, but that's the point. Is even setting Christianity aside, looking at Islam, looking at whatever you want to look at, look at a fictional religion. Go take Skyrim and the 9 Divines.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Skyrim was literally is literally in the background. There is a holy war happening because
I'm a Talos worshiper.
See what I'm saying? So, but that's the point.
By the nine.
And so it's faith
by
is
Azure.
I mean,
it's the grand champion here before me.
Oh my lord.
So, like, I mean, faith is something as small as trusting your partner to be faithful.
Yeah.
It's not something so outrageously like cosmic.
I don't want to dive too deep into that, but I don't think it's but sure.
Yeah.
No, faith is faith.
Yeah, but I feel like we already ran over a decent amount, so we're just gonna like basically dial it back from here. I feel like we had a good talk. We had some interesting perspectives for sure, having the 3 different of us here. But yeah, I mean, I felt like we kept ourselves civil enough. It is a bit of a heated topic.
It's a hard topic.
Yeah, but we're gonna end things for today. As I said before, I am Rune. Come hang out. I'm going to be playing video games and stuff on Mondays. I am a superhero over on Artificer Alley, which is Ben's channel. He can tell you about that if you guys want. I'll let him actually give the sell on that one. I'll pass it down to you first since I gave it to Jared last time. Go sell him on that since that's your new show as well on top of your other one.
Yeah, come check us out on Artificer Alley. Monday nights we have Rift Runners, which is using the old school Marvel superhero system from 1984 by TSR, and it is like it's been fun. It's been fun. Come check us out. I play in it. Room plays in it. It's a lot of fun. This coming Wednesday next week is the season finale of Eidos Tamers. We are wrapping up what's been an incredible story with these incredible players. I cannot wait to see what they do with the finale. It's going to be awesome stuff. Yeah. And Artificer Alley's channel is about to hopefully go full time coming in August. So stay tuned for all the awesome stuff we got coming down the pipeline. And don't forget Eidos Tamers. Thank you so much for just liking the story. It's been great.
Yeah, man, it is, and it is fun. Definitely come and check us out on Mondays because no one watched the last one that we did as well because we only have one episode of the Marvel game out so far, and my character did an RKO out of nowhere, breaking a dude's spine, and then I stink-faced the Hulk. So we're gonna turn it over to Jared now.
You can find me at JRod_live on TikTok. You can go there and check out all my videos. You can see all the funny stuff I've posted from the 5M days. Got a little bit of Reddit stuff on there as well. Also, go wherever music is streamed. I'm talking on iTunes and Spotify and Tidal, wherever else you listen to music at. Look up Sleaze's Fist and the Latter-day Taints. We just dropped 2 albums and an EP on there. And then we got the entire FAPS catalog. You got me, Jared Gideon catalog on there. All that music's available for you to listen to. Add it to your playlist. Jam it out. Please do me the favor. Make me a star.
Do it. You're already a star in our book, J-Rod.
Oh, we both said it.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Make sure that you come back next week. And if you want to hear me talk about a little bit of Hot D, make sure that you come here. I think we're going to move that to Monday because the last 3 episodes of this season are going to be really, really long. So we'll probably do it before we jump into the Marvel campaign. So I'm thinking probably 6 o'clock for that one, just because, good lordy, yeah, like it's going to be like 1.5 hour long episodes for the next few of them. So making Brock stay up that late is kind of cruel when he has to work in the morning the next next day. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Love all y'all faces. Have yourself an awesome rest of the week, and make sure that you come and check out whatever else we got going on the rest of the week. So yeah, bye.
Bye.